Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, and welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson, Avi's barber, located at Toohey and Melvina, and I want to welcome you to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hello, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet hope, Chicago. 224 446. Come on, baby, now.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine show with the greatest cameraman around, Sonny Hirsch, and your host.
Thank you, Marty. Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, a presentation of Sonny Hirsch and myself. We're on the web, ntnm.org. All the shows are on YouTube. Community Policing, which our next guest was one of the early champions of, is caps24.org. Jewish Chicago is coming out Thursday, February 27th. It'll be on the streets. It'll be on the web. And, we'll be out for your early voting pleasure. It is a pleasure to introduce you to one of my favorite aldermen, maybe my favorite, who knows. He's the alderman of the 49th Ward of the city of Chicago, Joe Moore. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Avi.
Anyway, thank you for coming. And what kind of...
You're one of my favorite interviewers, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So
Perhaps my favorite.
Pardon? Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right.
Anyway, you had we only got 13 minutes. Otherwise, I'd ask you about... I was following your tour. I guess you were asked to speak in...
Yes, I was asked to speak at the Council of Europe in Strasbourg, France, on participatory budgeting. Participatory budgeting is the process I've put into place in the 49th Ward, where my constituents decide by popular vote how to spend $1 million of their money, money that I have been given as alderman to spend at my discretion on capital infrastructure projects in my community. But instead of me making a decision, I turn that power over to the residents of my ward who come up with project ideas, and then the best project ideas are placed on a ballot, and then everyone comes out and votes. So I was asked to speak at a conference that the Council of Europe sponsored called a World Forum on Democracy.
Cool.
So that was a wonderful experience, and it was the first time I've ever been to France. It's a very very interesting country, and contrary to all the stereotypes, the French couldn't have been friendlier. They were very nice to everyone we ran into during the time we were there.
I took French in high school. I never had a chance to use it. Not that I know it anymore. I wish I did. So anyway, let's. No, I was following your. I love following this stuff on Facebook because I got to see about the conference and got to see where you and Barbara were visiting and all the rest of it.
That's right. Yeah, and we before we returned home, we took a few days detour to Paris, which we had never been to as well. And it was
That's one city
wonderful
I'd love to
experience.
see.
Yeah.
So in terms of the ward itself, now we were talking about this earlier. My favorite Dominic's. I took the ring off. I took the thing off my key ring today. The shelves are empty. Is the one on Clark Street near Howard. What's the status? Because people keep asking about it. Any idea who's bidding on it, or?
Well, I know I am told by insiders that there are a number of stores, both chains and independents, that are interested in the site. And who knows, by the time the show is aired, we may already have a new tenant for the Dominic's grocery store site. Safeway, as you know, announced that they were closing all their Chicago area stores, all 72 of them. As of the time we're taping this, they've identified buyers for 15 of those stores. But I'm very hopeful, given the track record that our Dominic's store had. The Dominic's at Gateway Plaza at Howard and Clark was a profitable Dominic's. It's in a great location. It's one of the few grocery stores that's in a shopping mall within the city of Chicago. So all the indicators are there that someone's going to want to locate there. And I've been reaching out to all the different grocery store chains, as well as the good independent grocery owners, to encourage them to take a look at the site, and hopefully those efforts will bear fruit.
Oh, very good. And listen, I want to give you a lot of credit because besides for being open about stuff, and by the way, the participatory budgeting, look at the website, look at the other stuff. I mean, even if it puts his foot in his mouth, which he doesn't very often, he's pretty open.
Not
about
as much
things.
as I used to.
Well, experience.
That's true.
There are advantages to getting older. You learn from things.
Well, getting older is better than the alternative.
That's definitely. I still remember Pablo Casals used to every year. Somebody asked him when he was 92, how does it feel? And he said, considering the alternative, it feels great. So anyway, openness, all the rest of it. Well, I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, I think you were talking about, I've got a pretty large presence on the social media, on Facebook, on some of the neighborhood blogs, Nextdoor, Every Block when it was in existence, and I understand that it may be coming back. I just read that.
I actually like them because they actually gave you like what building permits were applied for and all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
So to me, that was valuable.
So I just think it's important in this day and age for elected officials to communicate directly with their constituents, to be very open and transparent, explain their decisions, address their problems in an open forum. People post on my Facebook page all the time questions, and usually it's me, occasionally it's my staff that will respond to them. I send out, as you know, regular emails 3 or 4 times a week, telling people about different events and news in the community. And I encourage people to respond, and I listen to them. It's been a great, the social media has been a great opportunity for me to really connect with my constituents in a way that back in the day I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it too.
And we only had, newsletters that we would put in the mail once every quarter or so. It's just not as effective as the immediacy that you have with the social media.
No, that's true. For one thing, by the way, just like yesterday in real time, and this isn't going to be on too long thereafter. You showed a thing where you can track snow plows and reminded people about snowing and all that. I've had that resent to me twice already from various community activists. Other sites have picked up on it, so your stuff definitely gets out there. And yeah, there's an immediacy to it. I mean, it's not there to these people keep poking me all the time, but I'm not there for the pokes. There's one lady in particular who's kind of ill right now, so I'll poke her back every time. But as a general rule, there's a lot of business you can do on it. There's a lot of good you can do.
There's a lot of good, and there's a lot of just have an ability without the news media filter that sometimes our news media, and we have a lot of really good hardworking reporters, but sometimes they get it wrong, and it's a good way of making sure that the message that you want to get across, the information you want to get across, goes directly to the people that you represent.
By the way, I would actually say a lot of times they get it wrong, and
I'm being polite.
Well, I remember in the old days when I was first starting out as a reporter, and at the time, we all had to run. I learned the hard way. You have to run to the payphone real quick to be one of the first to call in your stories. So I would sit and listen to stories that the reporters from some of the papers would call in for an event I was just at, and I was very much wondering, were we at the same place? Because I don't think so.
Right. Yeah, I've had that experience, many times. So, if anyone, and I have a lot of readers of my electronic newsletter that don't live in my ward. They live in the 50th ward, they live in the 40th ward, but they've appreciated the fact that they're getting this information. So anyone in the viewing audience, if they want to sign up for one of my electronic newsletters, all they have to do is visit my website, Ward 49, Ward, W-A-R-D, the number 49.com. Right at the top of the page, you can sign up for our electronic newsletter.
And it's worthwhile. I mean, it's really interesting. Even if it's not your direct neighborhood, it also shows the process that the actual process that things have to go through in order to get there.
And I've been keeping people up to date on our Dominic store. I have been appointed to a task force that's formed to to help identify good grocers for vacant Dominick stores. And I plan to use that service and the task force to go to bat for my Dominicks, the Dominicks in the 49th Ward at Clark and Howard. That is too important of a location to allow to remain vacant. And unlike a lot of areas in the suburbs where people have cars and they can drive to another store, many of my constituents have no automobiles. They rent apartments. They choose either because economically they can't afford a car, or they choose not to own a car. And this is going to be a hardship, so we need to get this addressed as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I'm carless too, and the reason I like that Dominic's, it's right near Romanian. So if I walk and I can walk that far, or take the bus over there or whatever, it's a hop, skip, and a jump over there, and it's kind of nice. So I just hope somebody good goes in there. That's for sure. One of the things I wanted to talk about, the social media thing, is I think it's very important that you go on there too, because the ridiculous stuff that I see, and you know what, we have some weird bloggers in the 50th Ward, but nothing compared to what you got. And I know you don't want to step on any toes here.
Well, we were called a few years ago the bloggiest community in the nation.
Bloggiest or bloggiest?
That's a good question, but there are a lot of people who go on blogs and the social media, and I think by and large on balance it's a good thing. Obviously, what I've found is there is, to a degree, a certain lack of civility in some of the blogs, and it's amazing that people will say something in writing that they won't say to you in person, and so I think that's contributed to a degree in a lack of civility. But there are some good blogs on there where there are good moderators that, good spirited debate is a good thing. But it's when it becomes into personal insults and innuendos and things like that, then that's not good. That's not healthy. That tears apart at the fabric of the community. But by and large, I'm probably one of the elected officials, one of the aldermen that's most active on there, because I think people appreciate the interchange, the fact that I'll engage with them and I'll defend my positions. In fact, I appreciate that opportunity because there's a lot of a lot of misinformation out there, and it gives me an opportunity to get my side of the story out, to put to rest any rumors that may be floating around the community. I love it. It's made my job more fun.
I think it's important. Ann Rainey, who's your next door neighbor, also is somebody that...
Ann Rainey, the alderman who represents the 8th Ward in Evanston on the far south side of Evanston.
And she's very good also at having a presence and letting people know what's really going on.
Yeah, we share that. We communicate a lot with each other back and forth.
And by the way, my favorite police blog also, because some of them are just plain inaccurate, is the one that Dane Ronvik and Bernard Garbo run for 2424. By the same token, I think it's easier for people to be less civil if they're not seeing somebody in the face.
Right.
And they don't realize the implications of what they're saying. In some cases, they put on a fake name or say they're anonymous, but still in all, it's not a good deal. Mickey's hands are running out. Unfortunately, I wish I had more time here. If people would like to contact you.
Well, ward49.com is my website. You can contact me through that. Or my email, which is ward49@cityofchicago.org.
Ward49@cityofchicago.org.
Or the old-fashioned way, pick up the phone, call 773-338-5796. That's 773-338-5796. And we do pick up the phone and communicate with people the old-fashioned way as well.
And actually, I do pick up the phone and call them, and it does work that way, and I happen to like it that way better. Anyway, thank you so much, Alderman Moore.
Thank you so much for having me on again. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.